Hello ladies and gentlemen, nothing like a Kriibus video to make a bad day worse. If you don't enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe. Now, if the world depended on me to be a good PKer, we would all cease to exist. Will that stop me today? No, definitely not. And that's what I want to show you. Along with many other things, my opinions about OSRS PKing, how many times I spawned in Lumbridge in this video, and my overall thoughts on this. So let's get started. Oh, before we start, I just want to say congratulations to these 3 players for winning our very first skill of the week. Look at you guys, you're big boys now. Congratulations again and enjoy that GP. If you want to participate as well, make sure you join our Discord, link in the description. Okay, let's go. Now, I don't want to make this PvP or PKing videos into something that every single content creator already does, where I just like get a PK and be like, wow, I got 5 million GP, let's go again. Wow, I just spawned in Lumbridge, that was unlucky. You know what I mean? I want to talk about my experience of PKing for the last 3 days as someone who has never basically done PKing in OSRS. What I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, what changes I would love to see as a beginner PKer, and what JX needs to do to save PvP in OSRS, in my opinion, and just go over the experience. Bear in mind, these are my personal opinions, so if you disagree, that would be really nice. Maybe I'm just a dumb monkey, who knows. Put it in the comments and let's have a healthy discussion about this. Okay, you ready? Let's do this. After I released my video, Can I Beat Old School RuneScape? I think the devil on my left shoulder said, Kriibus, you wanna go PK more? And I was like, yes I do. And it was actually really fun, even though I lost a lot of GP. So let's go try again. I said it before and I say it again. Turns out if you have the same PKing system for 20 years and the same players are still participating in it after all these years, they become really good at it. Now, you could say they could spend those 20 years to become world class at anything else besides small part of medieval MMO game, and you would be right, but then I wouldn't be able to make this video, so win-win? Question mark? You decide. Now, my favorite part that hasn't changed is the toxic masculinity you see in PvP scenario. Unfortunately, we're still using the same slander we did a decade ago, and all I could think was, guys, come on. Have we seriously not figured out better insults after all this time than calling someone a dog, a rat, a monkey, telling them to sit down even though I already am sitting down because it would be really uncomfortable to PK while standing up? I mean, I know PKers aren't very creative people, since you know there isn't much else to explore at this day and age, but come on guys, is animal names really the way to go even after 15 years? But like I said in my previous videos, I kinda adapted that behavior myself. I'm not proud of it, but I did. I felt the cogs in my little brain start to get rusty as soon as I swapped to PvP worlds. My mentality started to crumble under the pressure. I got really mad at people who ate at 99 hit points. I got frustrated when my specs didn't hit when they were supposed to, and so on and so on. Like, look at this. Oh, I got so mad at this. I don't even know why I got mad. I feel like I'm a very calm person most of the time, but it just triggered the right spot in me. I was about to KO on this guy, but just as the right second he puts protection from melee on when I was about to spec, and then immediately turns it off after I spec'd. That would have been a KO. That would have been lights out for him, but yeah, no bueno. Unfortunately. Then I found out about the group of players who put on really fancy gear like bandos, full dragon trimmed amulets and all the other stuff to look like they're risking a lot, but all they do is protect their 4 most valuable items every time, which makes them risk like 200k, even though it looks like they are a good target. And then we have players who just dump their spec, and if it doesn't hit, they just bounce. This fight lasted for 9 seconds. He either sends me to Lumbridge or just teleports out and doesn't even actually commit to the fight. Just rolls the dice, and if it doesn't hit, he teleports out. Which I found was kinda odd since he was risking like 300k. If that money was so important to him, maybe PKing worlds isn't the best place for him. My most infuriating moment of the entire night was when I guess these players don't really PK, but rather try to find scraps, get into unfair fights and so on, and I kid you not, I would have PK'd here like 15 million GP at least, but I spec'd 0 on AGS against a full void that was 12 HP. Holy man, holy. If that doesn't make me mad, I don't know what will. I was so pissed off. I was so mad. But you know, life is unfair sometimes. Oh, and if you fast forward 2 minutes later, I lost almost 4 million GP. Yep. I think those 2 minutes in the script could easily sum up my entire experience, but still, I can't deny, I had fun, even through my pain and suffering. But man, at times did it get frustrating. Like there was a guy I was fighting multiple times. I think we fought like 3 times before the clip and we couldn't get the KO. And this was the 4th time. He wasted his 2 specs and had nothing left, and I was like, okay, this is my time. This is my time to shine. Let's go. This is my time. And then he slaps 71 combo with Vengeance and Dragon Scimitar. Yep. That is life. That is life. Oh, by the way, he missed almost every hit before this. Rest in peace, my Abyssal Tentacle. And I feel like the frustration only built up in me because at times I felt I didn't have any control if I was gonna win the fight or not. You saw earlier how randomly I got hit 91 with Granite Maul, and all I could think after that was, wait, should I just always stay at 99 HP or what? Like for instance, AGS can spec around 76, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. But constantly on the back of my mind when I was 72 HP, I was like, okay, any second I might just accept my fate here and hope for the best, because I have 2 options right now: eat and get called a safer or pray to RNGesus. Neither option I didn't particularly enjoy. I like being in control, and sometimes during fights I felt like I wasn't. Of course there are ways you can put yourself into more control. I learned about things like how to position yourself better during fights so your Vengeance and weapon smack at the same time. I learned about combo eating. I started using KriibusRS potions more to put myself from 72 HP, which is enough to KO with AGS, to like 77, which was the safe zone. Now, while I'm editing, I also realized I should have put my spec weapon to the bottom of my inventory, so when I swap hotkeys, I'm closer to that spec bar and so on. Oh, and you know the entire thing about speed, which I'm not even gonna get into right now. And honestly, learning all of this in the last 3 days, I spawned in Lumbridge a lot, as you've seen throughout these clips, and some of them I didn't even record. I think overall in the last 3 days I lost about 20 million GP, if you count all the people who PK'd me and the people who I PK'd. So I guess it was kinda like trial and error, but damn it, I can't deny it was so satisfying seeing your opponent's HP bar go to 0 and then seeing the loot pile on the ground. And like, yes, I could have done the loot key method, but somehow just seeing all of these items on the ground hits you differently. It took me back to the good old days. I know it's super cheesy, but it was like, you know, Linkin Park was blasting, the only software where making videos was unregistered Hypercam 2 and Windows Movie Maker, the classic 480p quality YouTube experience, and the most underwhelming PKs of all time with some DDS and sharks to put the cherry on the cake. It was good times. It was really, really good times. I do feel like PKers get a very bad rep, and yes though there are very toxic players whose entire purpose in their everyday life, and there are clans who DDoS others for money, and yes, there is a disease in old school RuneScape called community staking. I feel like that's just a vocal minority, and most players just wanna have fun. Like, I got this good PK loot here in this clip, and the guy was immediately thinking like, okay, I'm gonna kick him so nobody else can attack him and he can pick up the loot safely without having to worry, and I love that thing. Just so thoughtful, and I was really thankful, especially as someone who is terrified of getting rushed KO. It's such a small thing, but such a nice gesture. Now, what can Jagex do to make PKing more inviting to players like me, who actually, after losing a lot of GP, kinda started to enjoy it? Well, firstly, they did a good job implementing the PvP arena, and even though it's said by many players to be dead content immediately after release, I don't think that's the case. It's an excellent way to start learning PKing without risking anything and learning the core mechanics. The only reason not many people play it is because it doesn't have any meaningful rewards. But that doesn't change the fact that I highly recommend people go give it a try if PvP is something they are interested in. It's a safe environment, and at least the idea was correct in this case, even though the execution was lacking due to no rewards. Which, by the way, you guys voted no on. Me included. I said no to all of the rewards because I thought the way Jagex handled all of the voting went against everything old school RuneScape should stand for, and what we ended up with was content that Jagex worked on for 6 months with no rewards added in. I wanna end with this. You're always gonna have these stereotypical players who pile on with 20-1 and call out slurs, racism, so straight up bullying. I guess that's just the human nature for these people. They don't understand elementary level moral or ethical behavior. Insecurity runs deep here, but that's fine. There is another side though, where you actually get engaging, interesting content, where you even have an option now to choose if you wanna have risks involved with the content in PvP worlds or wilderness, or keep it safe in LMS and PvP arena, which we didn't have back in the day. And yes, people have figured out PKing to a core, which wasn't the case back in the day, and it does make it harder unless you also put days into working it out, but that's literally with everything else in old school RuneScape. It's a grindy game, and that goes with PvP as well. It's a lot of a mindset. I completely understand where the ego part comes in play when you get KO'd. You feel like you had it, but instead now you stand in Lumbridge. But for me personally, that was like part of wanting to try even harder now. Learning from my mistakes, trying to understand it better and go again. And yes, I did spawn in Lumbridge 2 minutes later again, but hey, you win some, you lose some, okay? I do feel like there is potential in PKing, and even though Jagex has tried to fix it about 27 times now and failed all of those times, please don't give up yet, okay? Please don't give up. I've started to like this and I want to make more content of this, okay? Okay, I love you guys. Come join our Discord link in the description, and I'll see you again in a few days with another video. Love you all. Bye. Mwah.